And so, Dr. Rob, I know that we have some projects that we want to work on, and I believe that you have some timeline that you want to follow. So in regards to the projects that, the programs that I asked you, what do you think about that in terms of your timeline this year?
I'm not sure, honestly, just because I've got a lot going on. I'm launching a brand new YouTube channel. I'm doing a brand upgrade. I've still got the magazine. Like I literally have so many projects right now and new clients. I can't put anything else on my plate. I would have to have a discussion like January or February for sure.
Okay, well, we can definitely push that. So what's your main thing right now that you're working on?
The rebranding and the launch of Warrior Strategist TV on YouTube. I'm installing a studio in my house and going to be doing a branded show, teaching business strategies and doing interviews and putting out a really high quality product with intros, outros, branded graphics, the whole nine.
I see. All right, awesome. Okay, so your turn. Who would you like to ask a question?
All right, Ken, for sure, in the sharp jacket, which I like immensely.
Okay.
Ken, what's your next business goal within like 30 days?
My next business goal, is to launch the holiday, to launch a holiday campaign for merchants.
Nice.
And or people who don't consider themselves merchants but really are, gift certificates, books, that kind of thing, as well as products. I mean, it doesn't really, but I think people underestimate the value of a gift certificate in this marketplace.
Okay. All right, Ken, now who's your next person you would like to ask?
I think Ralph, right? Is that?
Yes.
Yes, Ralph. Is he there?
Yeah, he's there.
Okay. Well, maybe I need to go to gallery. Oh, there you are. There you are. I'm on just the one picture, so sorry about that. So what is the goal? Well, you said the goal is to what's your 90-day goal between now and January 1st? Well, it's not even 90 days anymore. 60-day goal.
Yeah. So, goal is to get at least 10 resume customers. And sorry, my kids just got home from school. And start working on my brand, like Rob keeps kicking my ass about. And then just putting out that book. Just stop being scared, stop having the imposter syndrome and stop pricing like I'm broke.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Ralph. All right, who's your next person?
Let me see here. I met Josh yet. Hey, Josh, Elliot.
Hey, how's it going?
Just wondering what do you do and what are your goals?
Yeah, so I just started my first small business. I have no experience at all. I'm kind of finding my way. I'm offering IT consulting and services to small businesses. So, the process improvement or selecting the right tools or creating an integration or automation. That's kind of, what I'm exploring right now and, trying to dive into.
Okay, great. Thank you, Josh. Now, who's your next person, Josh?
Yeah, I'm not sure who has been. I'm sorry I was late. James, has he gone?
No, not yet.
Oh, there's two of them.
I have not gone.
Okay, James Watson. All right. James, what's your biggest focus right now? What have you focused on, this week, trying to accomplish?
It's like I've been going again in a million. Some of it's in a very good way, but now I'm in groups, and then I'm actually getting some traction and going to more and more events, and managing that really requires a lot of discipline. But me, in the short term, it's really planning each week and then each day out very carefully. I'm not going out too far. And by a year, and I've got a first small gig, actually with one of the people involved here, with Eddie Gottschalk. He and I put a small sales consulting contract together to try to help him, get up to his next level of funding. And so we're working on that. And I'm trying to structure some promotional things for startups, at different levels. And I was telling Maria about that, where I've kind of stratified it. And, I've got those that are, that don't have any funding, or maybe have a little bit of funding or their own money, but under 100,000, and those are kind of the 100 to 200,000 range, and the 200,000 plus. And then having like a 1 month, we call it an on-site discovery, where, we're coming in, doing an assessment. I'm coming in, doing an assessment, and then coming up with a statement of work, number one, but number two, putting together, helping out like with slides for the deck, and then helping, the founder prepare for that next round of funding, and to say, look, if we get, X amount of dollars, this is what we're going to commit to. And I know like it's a loss leader for me, because I'm, working at a fraction of what I normally charge on a consulting basis, but I just started my own company, and I'm going after a tough target, which is startups. It's a little easier if they're funded, but I know that I have to price things in a way that is going to encourage people to get on board, and then hopefully we build from that. Can't hear you.
Yeah, I have Ronnie here on the call, and he couldn't get into the system. So Ronnie, I'm just gonna keep you on the phone. And so I hope you can hear this conversation with us, okay?
Okay, good.
Okay, can you guys hear Ronnie?
Yep.
All right, okay, so we're just gonna keep you on the phone, since this is what's happening with you. Okay, James, who do you want to ask questions? So we're doing Q&A right now, Ronnie. So just so you know.
Okay.
Go ahead, James. Who would you like to ask question?
Well, since Ronnie just came, I can't see him, but maybe Ronnie, if you want to tell me what you do, what's unique about your company, and then what are your goals for the rest of the year?
Okay, Ronnie, did you hear that question?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm a marketing director and a CEO. The company is the Tara Thomas Agency. My primary position, I'm a partner. My primary position is the marketing with PR firm for the Millennial Tour that's out right now.
Okay, great.
Is
Okay,
that a simple position, or are you doing this on kind of a scale where you're dealing with a lot of different companies?
what was your question again, James?
Yeah, so I was curious. It sounds like it's is that a W-2 position, representing them and then helping out with the marketing, or are you just working for that company right now and you're trying to get other gigs too? I just understand if you're fractional or if you're like more of a W-2 permanent.
Yeah, I understand. No, I've been I'm partnered in with the company. I've been with the company for about 6 years, but I do work with other companies. Also, I work with several different other companies. So I'm like, my service is like a B2B type, service. But they're just the largest. Well, what we do, like for example, we're the PR agent for King, which is T.I.'s son, for T.I.'s mother, for the rapper T.I. And we have several clients like that. So we service both professionals in the industry.
Okay. All right, Ronnie, since you can't see the people that are in here, I'm going to go ahead and pick one person for you. And I'm going to say, okay, so we have Fu. Fu is in the PR business. He does a lot of press release to different article. What is it, Fu? Can you just explain it? It's like Washington, right? Washington Post, things like that is what you do?
I have I have a lot of different publications, like Forbes, Inc., Fortune, or New York Weekly, CO Weekly, Targo, Medium, all like the.
So that's what he does. Now you can go ahead and ask him a question.
Okay. So you said you're doing PR for those type of companies?
Yes.
Okay. So what type of PR do you do for them? Like, are you doing like a press release for other clients to go to them, or are you doing the press releases for them? Do you even do press releases? I know that's.
I think he. So his question is: do you do press release for your clients, or do you go to the press release companies? Is that right? Did I ask that correctly, Ronnie?
Yes, I was asking, does he does press release for those clients? Because most of what he sounded like he name was they're media companies. So I'm wondering, do you do press release, and if so, do you send it to them, or are they the ones actually holding the release? Doing the release.
Oh, Fu, the question is, do you write the press release and you give it back to your client, or do you take care of the press release and go to the companies yourself?
It's a done for you service. So like when a client comes to me, I will take care of the writing. I will take care of the distribution, the media relations, like the pitching if necessary. So if it's a press release, obviously it's just like a guaranteed thing. Just it's more an advertisement than PR. And then if for like real articles, I do the pitching for in like podcasts, TV too.
Okay, was that good?
Right. Cool. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, Fu, your turn.
I guess I'll ask Steve Matley because I don't know him. I never seen him, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
What's your
tell
question for
me
Steve?
tell me about what you do and what you're focusing on and what's that next step for that project or task that you're focusing on right now.
Okay, so what do I do? I always tell people when they ask me that, whatever I want, but that's not a pretty vague answer, I know. I do several things. I teach at a college. I teach construction management at architecture college, but my business is in land acquisition, entitlement, and land development. My background is as a construction manager, so that's what I do and what I've done. Then you asked what my focus is. Focus for coming immediately in the very near term is closing out a project in Florida that we have going on. And then for the new year is closing out 2 projects we have in Riverside County. And then just after that, another project in Florida. And I'm also building up about a dozen projects in Arizona, totaling about 1,600 acres.
Awesome. All right.
A lot of things happen.
Oh, go ahead, James.
I was just gonna say, like, I've seen like so many development in like Arizona. So you mentioned that, it didn't surprise me. It's crazy, like it's like the housing market and all that. Like people are going flipping everything. So like soon enough, everything is gonna be new houses and like new stuff.
And we're working in Florida, Texas, Arizona, and California because we figure the best marketing study we can figure out is go where the Californians are moving to. That's the growth area.
Boise, Idaho. I recommend to
We've been
check
in
out
Boise.
Boise.
We've looked around Boise, haven't done anything yet. We looked up there, it was kind of cold. Looked in Tennessee also. We put several offers in Tennessee. We just didn't get them taken yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Already going up in Idaho.
Yeah.
All right.
Idaho's to get into right now. So
Steve, now it's your turn to ask question. I think we still have Jessica available. And who else? I think Jessica is, and
I'll talk.
yeah,
I'll ask
Jessica.
Jessica a good question.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you doing, Jessica? Been a while? Oh, you're silent though. There you go.
No, I'm not.
You're back on. Okay. Okay. Question for Jessica. So I haven't talked to you for a while. What are you currently working on? And what are a couple of obstacles that may be in your way that maybe people in this group could help you with?
Great question. So since we last met, I transitioned from being just a VA into more of a joint venture broker manager and got a certification with that last year. And the the challenges with it is sometimes people don't have it hashed out with their percentages and fees to just seamlessly make connections. So I'm quickly finding that out as I'm vetting opportunities, but it's an easy fix as long as people see the opportunity with joint ventures and how to scale from there instead of just like Facebook ads. Short and sweet.
All right, thank you, Jessica. Now, I think I'm the last one, so you'll have to ask me a question.
Okay, Marie, my question for you is, if you had $5 million, what would you invest in first and why?
5 million. All right, that's I'm gonna have to make sure I connect with my tax lawyer, my accountant, and because in order for me to decide on that, I need to know what are the some of the things that I need to know in that end, because you just never know, right? When you have that large money, you need to make sure you protect yourself first. And then from there, it's a matter of, okay, what's your priority? My priority is really creating this program for FireUpConnect, because my goal is to have all people in the United States be able to take advantage of it. So that's one. And then the second thing is to create this educational platform for the real estate professionals, especially when they are coming into the real estate industry. They need to know, they have to have some sort of an educational background and experience before they can start helping clients, because one is they can lose all their assets without knowing what they're doing in there. And then second is they put themselves in danger. So they can get kidnapped or killed. And I don't want those two things happening to them. So that's why I wanted to have that educational platform for the real estate professionals. And then third is I had this program that I wanted to do where it's a place where I can have those kids that are homeless kids, teach them how to become entrepreneur. So I wanted to have this facility where I can have all these young people that have no homes, no skills, and teach them how to become an entrepreneur and create some skills for them. Those are the three things that I would do for the $5 million. And of course, I had to give some money to the church. That's a given, right, Ronnie?
Yeah, I love that. I love that helping the kids thing. That's beautiful.
Yes. Okay. So this is the first part of our meeting. Thank you for participating in this section. And so the next part of our meeting is what we call expertise section. It looks like I have another person coming in, Gideon. Is that Gideon Harris? Okay, so let's welcome Gideon, just to make sure that
I invited him. He was a little late. But.
All right, so are you there, Gideon? Are you available? Can you hear us?
Yep. Can you guys hear me?
Welcome to the FireUpConnect. We just started the first part of our meeting, which is the Q&A. And can you just give us a quick, short information about who you are and what you do? If you can just go ahead and unmute and show us your face on video, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Yep. Hey guys, my name is Gideon. It's 5 a.m. here, but Jessica said there's an awesome event happening, so I figure I just want to join you guys.
It's the best one in town.
Yeah, I get. So yeah, I'm a human capital officer of Karyasi Foundation. It's a foundation that started in 1980, which aimed to help people in the rural area in Indonesia, in Batam Island, and help to deliver babies from mothers who couldn't afford medications We've helped about almost 10,000 babies already for 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So our vision is to bring life, and I'm also a founder of Arisan, which is a startup in construction tech. So what Arisan does is providing a modular alternative residence for those who are in need. So for example, there are a lot of problems with homelessness, with veterans, or with senior citizens who can't afford, proper housing. So we hack the system, and we have this modular design that we deploy only for $50,000 before the land in Bali. And we're looking to expand in US next year for that. And our aim again is to bring life. So anything that relates to, empowering people's life, wellness, their health, and giving a psychological safety. That's what we're doing research on. And I'm also running a consulting company, which is basically what the consulting company is. It helps the startup to grow. So
Okay.
it's design, build, and operate type of construction. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
it.
Wow, that's a lot, Gideon. I'm gonna have to really listen to the recording again and just try to remember what you said. But thank you for joining us. Fire Up Connect is where we accomplish 6 things here. We try to learn fundamentals of our business. Second is we wanted to make sure that we have good introduction of ourselves. We don't like to solicit here, but since you're the last one, we just had to find out who you are real quick. And then we wanted to build relationships. We are here to really get to know people. We want to learn if you're good at what you do. This is part of being an expert in your field. And we wanted to have a good understanding of how you operate your business, because of if we need to refer you, we need to be comfortable about how you work with people. And lastly, we tried to find a way to work together on a project. So the next part of our meeting is to figure out the expert side of our goal. So this is where I would like to throw you a scenario, because again, I am now connected to a university that is going after active military families. But if this is a project, and I just wanted to throw this idea to all of you, okay? How would you see yourself being a part of this university, to where you can contribute something to what they're doing with your business? So I want to start with Josh. Is Josh here? Or did we lose Josh? I think we lost Josh. Did we? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with Ken Powell. Ken, what would be the contribution you can make for a university who's trying to connect with active military families?
Well, I think we could probably do some radio interviews, maybe some radio ads, 2-minute ads with an explanation. Because we service basically the entire military area of San Bernardino, Riverside counties. A lot of, there's air base, a lot of retired military, a lot of people coming back to the area, and we could help them that way. But I think an interview, a couple of radio interviews, would be a good start.
All right. Now, Ralph, what about you?
I guess teach them about transitioning, the experiences they'll have if they're transitioning out of the military, and then just how to write a resume. That's where my expertise are at.
Okay, so if they are a university and they're going after active military families, how can you make those connections between the two?
Look, what do you mean?
Well, I understand that you do the resume writing for the militaries, but the people that are going after, the people that are needing the active military is a university. So would it be a good idea to write something that would relay the message that the university is going after the active military? Is there some sort of a writing that you can create for the university?
Sure, it can depend. depends on their objective. Like I said, I wrote for real estate people's bios, and I didn't, not just resumes. So depends on what they give me on their, what their objective, and I can write it towards
Okay.
that.
Because I see the connection of your writing because of your experience being in the military, and the university is not really, hound into what they need to communicate with the active militaries, and you would be the bridge in order to make that happen. Am I right? Because of your experience and then because you're writing also. Isn't
Yeah,
that a
it's-
pretty cool
it's-
connection?
Yeah, because it's been years. It took me years to learn how to not say manipulate how to write, but just to write in layman's terms format where everybody understands, not just a certain branch.
Okay, so that's okay. I get that. I think that's a good idea. Now let's go to Dr. Rob.
Same question, Marie?
Yes.
So essentially, I mean, what you would have to do is you have to talk about the advantages, competitive advantage, because a veteran, getting out, they need to know what their life looks like getting in a program like this. About career transition, we talked about catching veterans on the way out, but really, in order for a school to hook students, they have to talk about the competitive advantage, what the salary looks like, and maybe some testimonials or student success stories in order to get people.
Okay, and with the programs that you offer, is that something that they can use?
I'm not sure if there's a duality there, to be honest with you. And one thing a school can do, though, and they might or might not, but they need a veteran services counselor. They need somebody specifically that's a veteran that speaks the language and that can talk to people and connect with them on a better level than a civilian can.
Okay, that's a good idea. Thank you. All right, let's move on to Jessica.
I was thinking about how to partner with, depending, I mean, I know every university has a lot of things in common as far as like gen ed and different departments, but for what I'm doing, I would want to, I'm immediately thinking of someone who provides a whole network for military to start their own businesses. So I would want to find out different departments strategically for how to create maybe like an internship or some kind of project or something educationally related, maybe like it could even be maybe a conference or something. It could branch out a couple different ways, but I'd immediately want to find out what departments are available and how to get a hold of them, and then create the connection with this person to see if it's something they'd want to join forces with.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Jessica. Now, let's move on to James.
Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of good points brought up there across different disciplines, and I think it has got to cut across a lot of that. Number one, we need to know how many of those things that everyone just discussed are already in place, and what are the, what is that school doing? But obviously, just like you did that event, I think just a few days ago, Marie, having events out in the field, and then it was just mentioned having like a veteran services counselor, that I think would be key, to someone that speaks the language, and it's also put into kind of simple terms is the other thing I heard that cuts across, all the, different sides of the forces. And from my perspective, from a sales perspective, what I would do is come in and kind of assess all that and then figure out, where are they already? And then even make recommendations, through my network, through this group here, my personal network, through this group, for, okay, they really need to have, do marketing. They maybe need, through you, Marie, to do like a video that's like a one minute video. But then where I would really come in is is to and what I've done before and helped out with when I've worked with universities with other, not necessarily with the military, have had military accounts before in a separate life, but is, leveraging either outsourced business development or hiring students and then leveraging your own student base. And I think the example I give there is that when I graduated from college, I had, all these students calling me up all the time from UCLA alumni, and they got me to do it, but it took a few calls and follow. That was after all the marketing and advertising. So I believe from my perspective, managing that part of the process and being very proactive there, and then, having a strategic, way of going about this, because that also, if budget is an issue, you essentially have cheap resources there, with the students. So, and then again, I think going back to the alumni or someone else mentioned testimonials, I think those are critical, and having alumni that actually care, want to give back. Most alumni, if you want to call them that, or ex-military, know that there's a problem with recruiting, and that they want to give something back. And so getting those people involved, even if it's not, I'm sure a lot would get involved in events, and then being there, and then having not just them, but then having whoever else is attending the events and doing the pitches, to have different types of pitches, because it depends on the venue you're going to get. If you're going to have a venue where you're going to be able to do a full-blown presentation, you've got to have a deck that makes sense and that's captivating. If you got someone coming up to a booth, you got 10 seconds and you got to make your point. So I think that all those things kind of wrap into, from a sales consulting perspective, what I would do.
All right, awesome. Now, Gideon, I know that you are in a different type of industry, but do you see any kind of relationship to what we're doing? If this is a project that was focused on active military, do you see yourself being a part of it in some way that it could be creatively connected?
Yeah, definitely. So we're actually currently working on to help a veteran. She's a single mother and trying to support her career by our trading export import. So we're trying to trade organic coconut sugar to the States and the pea flour. And we're going to be doing that, I think, in December, in the hope that she would be able to support her life and able to buy our pods later. I think that the first thing is helping the curriculum, right? So college, being the college, the backbone would be the curriculum, right? And enabling the students to think independently and able to support themselves with alternative revenue. So one of the projects that we're working on, one of the research projects, is to create alternative revenue for our future inhabitants, right? So if they don't have the money, it's fine, but they can be trained to support themselves by becoming themselves. There's a lot of, this is from my, from what I heard, there's a low retainment for college students who are in the military, right? So I think enabling them to connect to their inner passion, which is what they're drive at, and to their vocation, what they're good at, their profession, how they can earn later down the road, and bridge to the industry after they learn, and fourthly, their mission, like what can they give back to the world, right? So they called it the ikigai, the reason for being, and giving them a sense of purpose, right? Purpose coaching classes, we're partnering with trygobeyond.com for that, and they can get all this on our app. So we have an app on our ecosystem. I've shared to Jessica the prototype before. Basically what it does, it connects them to do experiential learning and to keep supporting them, because there's a lot of stress in the military family, right? There's always expectation to do this and that. And the idea of defense is the best offense is what we're going. So we teach them to defend themselves economically, and then also by vocation. So that's kind of like what I would do. Yeah.
So we'll need to learn more about that information. That would be a good idea. Okay, I'm going to move on to Ronnie. Ronnie, what about you? Where do you see yourself in this type of project?
I think I could provide a few marketing strategies to help the project. And for example, one, I think that a lot of veterans. I mean, my father was a veteran. He passed away, and the transition of dealing with a veteran, mixing that with civilian life. One thing that I think is very key, and it's kind of abstract, but it's very key, is actually having fun. So I would do something based on them having fun while supplying the resources at the same time. So, like the other guy said, throw an event, a fun event, a captivating fun event that's also educational with the resources. And I will put it in like a bag. So it's kind of like we have this thing we call swag bags that we give away. And it's like things that the customers or consumers can use. But I would make the things that we put in that particular bag for them, a civilian bag or something, and a thank you, for their services and everything they've done. It'd be like a celebration and give them all the resources inside that bag, and and also brief them on everything that way.
I see.
But yeah, basically a good marketing strategy and some PR.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your for the information. Now, Steve Matley, you are with the school. So if you see all these people that have certain ways of helping schools target for active military, what is your thoughts about that?
Well, first, it's important to understand that I'm not part of the marketing or enrollment department, so that's outside of my purview. I teach students, but having be with the school, I would say the way to work with the suggestions here is, I know you're involved, Marie, with helping them, helping with this. They need someone that can work with the directors of marketing, to figure out how to channel all these ideas and bring them in. And that's something I could present it to them, but I'd say it's outside my department because that's a staff thing. But honestly, what they need more than anything is an understanding that academia has their own way of doing things, and they always do things the way they used to do them. I always joke that once something becomes obsolete, it becomes mandatory curriculum. That's kind of the way academics think. The business world thinks innovatively and creatively. And so a lot of that is getting to understand that there are great ideas and resources. What we just went through with that roundtable is a lot of fantastic ideas and good resources that they need to understand. So it's a matter of getting that information to them and then seeing, is this something we can get on board with? So how to get people involved with that? Honestly, that's going to be something where, it could take the minutes, kind of what we just talked about, and present them and say, what here are you interested in pursuing and doing? I do know that the school has a very high interest in recruiting military, but they really don't know how. Having said that, there's an awful lot of students here that came from the military that kind of come here accidentally, I guess. They search and they're looking for where to spend their GI Bill money or their voc rehab money. So we get a lot of those. And as you know, Marie, it's been something I've been pushing them for a long time to really focus on getting military people into the program, not just to fill seats up. For me, it's a humanitarian issue. Being in the school being located in East Village, downtown San Diego, homeless people everywhere. A large number of those homeless people were military people at one time. I always ask myself the question, how did these people that spent their time and gave up years of their life serving our country end up here? It's because the military itself, the VA, and we as a citizenry did a horrible job of transitioning out of the military and into civilian life. Because remember, a lot of these people, they left home where they had a room and their meals and all that kind of stuff, right? As they went through school, and they went to the military where they had a home, a place. It was different, but now the military is their mother, right? And it feeds them, clothes them, houses them. It's a tough life. They have a lot to do. It's not easy. They're doing things that most people would never do, but the basics of life are kind of being taken care of. And then one day we throw them out. We say, okay, no more of the 5-mile hikes at 4 o'clock in the morning, no more of jumping out of airplanes and those things. But guess what? You got to pay your own rent. You got to go to the doctor by yourself. You got to figure out what you're going to do for a living. You got to find your own car, your own transportation. You got to buy your own food and prepare it. And that's a big change. And some of them aren't prepared for that. And that's, I think, where some of them end up transitioning very poorly. And to me, I see that all the time around here. And I think that's a failure of our entire society. People are out there thinking of the military. So that, for me, that's a big issue. And the fact that I've seen former military come through the school and leave here with careers, there's multiple things we teach here. In my particular program, a student with military experience that comes out of here, if we've given them an internship during the program, they can leave here with an entry-level starting salary in the 60 or 70,000 very easily, and then move up. That's a whole different world than going into hourly work or struggling. Or a lot of them just gravitate towards police work, which is a really tough deal right now. So anyways, that's
Wow,
I
awesome.
have a big heart for that, but any help that can help shovel over to the marketing and enrollment side and say, here's something to make your life easier, bring these people in.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Steve, for that information. It looks like there was some chat, information from Dr. Rob and Ralph. Please go check that out. I think those are really good information. I think definitely there's a lot of great connections here for the university and also for the good programs that we can create for the active military families. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next part of our meeting, which is sharing your success stories or a challenge or a business goal. And I know that you guys have come up with some of your business goals earlier, and you can still take advantage of just 1 minute of sharing any of the things that of those 3 items. Okay, success story or a challenge or a specific goal. And we want it to be very precise on what you wanted to share to this group, because we want to make a difference. So let's go ahead and start with Ralph.
So goals, like I said before, have at least 10 resume customers. Dr. Garcia already helped me with one. Already have 2 more that I'm doing. Challenges is just the imposter syndrome. Just gotta go out there and just build my brand.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it for me. I just gotta keep moving forward.
All right, thank you. And make sure that we track that for next meeting, okay? Or even for next month, Ralph. Okay, let's move on to Dr. Rob.
So I released 2 appearances this week. I was on the news in Texas for some veterans PTSD affairs, a fellow vet. So they interviewed me, gave me a live segment, actually a recorded segment. And then I was featured on a more Umbrella TV, which this Navy vet who travels around the nation interviewing veterans filmed me for like an hour in North Park. So getting some good visibility out there.
Awesome, thank you, Dr. Rob. Okay, let's move on to James.
James or Fu?
James.
Okay. Let me get back on the video here. Let's see. Okay. I'll talk about a brief success story from a couple startups ago, where I was actually brought in with a startup that was already, they were doing all right, but they were, almost 3 years in, and they weren't hitting their goals. And there was a VP of sales, but he was spread really thin because he was wearing a lot of hats, kind of frontline, being strategic. And when I was brought in, they also brought in an outside consultant, which ultimately is what got me excited about consulting, because this really turned into more of a consulting gig before I was furloughed. I spent about the same amount of time, because COVID hit, I spent about the same amount of time there as a consultant. But during those 6 months, we built up a program from A to Z. We doubled the staff, and then really had a great experience working across divisions. I was usually used to working mainly with sales, but working across all these divisions. And so ultimately we got processes into place, and we're able to, help, this company, get its next round of funding, and they're just off to the races now.
Awesome, thank you. All right, Ken.
Things are going well. Thank you, Marie. Actually, I just signed another radio show for Saturdays. We got to switch from Sundays to Saturdays, Marie.
Oh,
So Well, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You booked up my Sundays, so now I got Saturday that I got to book up, and I got to move quick because my competition, which is not what you would think, is actually in my office. So they've created some anxiety with some other people, and I'm not really good at communicating with people like that. So that's something I need to work on. I just tell them you're a knucklehead, and they get tweaked. You know what I'm saying. You all know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we got to work on that communication, Ken. It's always good.
Yeah, but see, I'm over 60 years of age, and like my aunt used to tell me when she was over 60, she said, "I don't really have to respect anybody's values that dispute mine, and they can't really hurt my feelings because I'm almost dead anyway. So what difference does it make?" So anyway. Yes, I will work on that, Marie. That is one of the things I shall work on. You're
You gotta
laughing.
hit those knuckleheads.
Well, you got to be nice to them. That's what Marie keeps telling me. Well, why are you not nice? You could be nice and tell them the same thing. And I said, well, I don't have that many words in my vocabulary. So anyway, thank you.
All right, Ken, thank you. All right, let's go to Jessica.
Like a six that I always know when my name is going to get called. It's weird. Okay, so, I guess that's not a bad thing. So I will say a success story is, well, continuing to be consistent with some outreach, and I'm now at this point of outreach with you know how starting out as an entrepreneur, you always start with your friends and family and people that you know. Well, now I feel like I'm at the outer skirts of that sphere, and which is both like challenging, but also like a good thing, because that means I'm growing. That means I'm finding alignment with the right people, and it's not always the people that you think it will be. So that's what I've been noticing through this month, especially with noticing some changes and things, and now I'm making room for the right partnerships. So that's my win I'm celebrating.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jessica. All right, let's move on to Steve.
I'm sending a message to somebody who has a 4 o'clock meeting who just logged in to the meeting and is requesting me to join the meeting. I'm telling them, wait for 10 minutes, please. Wait your turn. So I'm just sending that out right now, and then I will answer your question. There we go. Okay. That's the Hold Your Horses email right there. All right, so this is a challenge, a success story, or a goal. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What if my goal is to have a challenging success story? Does that fit? I've got all three. I would say right now, I've got some goals. The goals right now that I'm working on is balancing projects in multiple states. I am currently funding projects in Arizona and Texas. I'm trying to wrap projects in Riverside County and in Florida, and it's just keeping all that straight. And my goal is by probably beginning of the second quarter of 2022 to have 4 of those projects wrapped and closed, and at least 5 of the new projects funded and up and running. So that's what we're working on. And the projects I'm closing are a little smaller. The projects I'm starting are a little bit larger. So that's what I'm working on. And then the other things I can tell you, success story is I've had a lot of fun working with you and Ken on the radio shows on the Fabulous Lifestyle. And I, for some reason, by accident, ended up being the guest on Real Men of Real Estate 2 of the 4 weeks it's been on so far.
Yes,
that was a lot of fun. But that was
all right.
Ken and
Awesome.
I had a great yesterday.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, Gideon, your turn.
Yep, thanks, Mary. I think let me start with success first, right?
You have 1 minute, okay? Just no 1 minute.
Yeah, sure. So we closed a equity deal on a joint venture in Uluwatu Cliff in Bali. And then in Gili Trawangan, and the owner of the land is open to take, loan from the bank to fund our development, which is enough for 200 pods. And also 90 acres in New York with upstate New York development. So the challenge would be to find a developer that is, has a good credit, and to sort of like build a business plan that is according to what the owner of the land wants and the developer. I think, what's the other one? I forget.
Gold.
Goals. Yeah, goals is to actually have our village deployed by end of December next year. So we already have a timeline on that one, and to deploy our social network by January. So we've already got CTO to build the app and so forth. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. And having Jessica on our team also as our human officer and partnership officer, that's a big success for us because she's the
Awesome.
powerhouse. Yeah, yeah, that's about it.
Thank you, Gideon. Okay, Ronnie, your turn.
Okay. So I'm getting two of them. It's the goal and the success, correct? Or is it three?
Any one of those, however you want to combine it in 1 minute.
Okay. So success, we just sold out a few arenas. So before the COVID, we had just made Billboard for the #1 R&B tour, and so this year we have a great success with the tour. We just finished up in Houston, and we're about to do Milwaukee. So that's the success.
Wow.
And the goal though for me is to actually, I'm very big. I'm very huge fan of. I'm an entrepreneur myself, but I'm a fan of other entrepreneurs. So I want to bridge the gap between what I've witnessed in market research with the entertainment industry. I want to see entrepreneurs on that same level as the artist. So to market the business person as an artist is a goal of mine, and to build a foundation and network for that, to where when the entrepreneur walks on stage, everybody's
I love that. I love that concept. You and I definitely need to talk more about that. And I think Dr. Rob will also probably be a good fit for what you're doing. So thank you so much, Ronnie. Okay, so we have, I think, only 3 minutes. And we are not able to cover the last part of our meeting, which is collaboration. But I think, you guys get a good understanding of our meeting. And one thing I wanted to just get information is feedback. So Gideon, since this is your first time, what do you think about the meeting so far?
I'm kind of late, but I would say it's been very efficient and very productive, and I'll definitely join again next time and wake up 5 a.m. earlier.
Thank you. And then Ronnie, for you? I know you had trouble getting into the Zoom, but at least we were able to get you in.
Yeah, I appreciate that effort of getting me in, and I definitely enjoyed listening to the story, and it's very educational, and I love meeting new people, so it was great.
Okay, so how can they get a hold of you, Ronnie?
My email is ronnie@terrathomasagency.com.
Okay.
And you can also reach me through the website, terrathomasagency.com as well.
Okay, and you'll probably have to text it to me so I can send it to everybody. But everyone, please provide your information on chat so everybody can connect. And Steve, I know it's been a while since you've been here. What did you think about our meeting today?
It's always fun to see the people I haven't seen for a while. You, Ken, and Jessica, and to meet other people. Dr. Rob, haven't seen him for a while. So it's good to see the other people and talk. And I appreciate the thoughtfulness and the input and the insight that everybody shared. So,
all right. Okay, from our members, anyone who would like to make comments?
Yeah, Steve, he crashes a radio show and now he's crashing the Fire Up Connect meeting. What the heck? What's going on here?
Go where I'm invited, and I don't.
Anyway, just goodbye.
Okay, so you were mute, Ken. We couldn't hear you. Who else would like to say anything?
I would like to say something. Any business person out there want to make a R&B group, but not sing, instead talk. Let's stay connected. Put that out there through this business venture that she has here. That'll be beautiful.
Okay, we'll definitely.
Hey, Marie, you need to connect him with Clayton Powell.
Okay, yes,
studio.
well, we have a musician with the studio here in California. We'll connect you to Ronnie, to Clayton Powell, okay? All right, anyone else?
I gotta fly, Marie. It's 4 o'clock and I'm getting nagged again
All
to
right,
join
well,
a
thank
meeting.
you so much.
The little Teams window keeps popping up saying, get in here.
All right,
All right.
well,
Thank you, everybody. Good talking
Steve.
to you.
Bye, Steve. Okay, and it looks like James is trying to get in again. Any Dr. Rob, Jessica, Ralph? You're good, Ralph? Jessica, go ahead.
Sure. I know we are ending our call, but I just wanted to give my sentiments that the consistency is really what matters. And this is, you never know who you're going to meet from day to day, week to week. And Marie does a wonderful job bringing everybody together. So thanks for your time tonight.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. All right, and James, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I was just gonna, well, two things. Number one, I was going off on my computer now just to switch over so I could go up into the chat and put my info in. But no, I've been enjoying this, after just a few weeks of doing this. The meetings have been great, and I keep meeting new people and then seeing some of the same people again too. So I think that's good to really get to know everyone.
Okay, and make
And
sure
I'm
we
enjoying learning from
follow up on what we talked about, because again, there's some good projects that we can all work on together. Like, my connection with the university, definitely connect with me and I will make sure that we can connect you to them. And so that's pretty much it. I appreciate your time. Our next meeting is Friday at 11 a.m. If you are interested in being a part of FireUp Connect, Gideon, definitely connect with me. Jessica has my information. Ronnie, you and I will probably have to talk right after this. And anyway, thank you so much for your time, okay? Have an amazing afternoon. Bye, everyone.
Thanks. Thank you,
Bye.
Mary. Can't wait to develop the app for the.
Yes, I'm interested. So definitely let's have some Zoom meetings on that, okay? All right. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.